A ball thrown horizontally from the top of a tower with speed 12.5 meter per second. So what is given, children? A tower is being given. From the top of a tower, a ball is being thrown horizontally with speed. What was the speed given? Initial speed of throw was given as ux is equals to u, which is equals to 12.5 meter per second. Strikes the ground 75 meters away from the tower. So the range of the ball is given as 75 meters range. If g is 10 meter per second square, you are asked to find the height of this tower. So range is given and also initial velocity of the throw is also being given. Children, what is the relation between range, height and initial velocity? We know that from the formula S is equals to, along the horizontal axis, we know that Sx is equals to ux into t plus half ax into t square. So along the horizontal motion, acceleration is taken as 0. Hence Sx is nothing but the horizontal displacement of the body is given by r, which is equals to the initial velocity u into time of flow. And time of flight is nothing but, with respect to height, you can write it as root over 2h by g. Substituting all the values in the above equation, we have r. What is the value of r, children? R can be taken as 75 meters, which is equals to u. Instead of u, we can replace it with 12.5 times of root over 2. H we need to calculate, and g value you are asked to take it as some 10. Bringing this 12.5 to the left side, we have 75 by 12.5 is equals to root over 2h by 10. Okay, so what we do is, let us multiply and divide numerator and denominator with 10. 75 into 10, we will get 750, and 12.5 into 10 is 125, simply removing the decimal. Okay, so we know that 25 5s 125 and 25 30s 750, and this 5 goes 6 times. Okay, so 6 is equals to root over 2h by 10. We got 6 is equals to root over 2h by 10. Squaring on both sides, what we'll get? 6 square is 36 is equals to, root gets cancelled, 2h by 10. Okay, and this, bringing this 2 and 2 will 10 will get cancelled, 2 goes 5 times. Bringing the 5 the other side, we have 36 into 5. 36 into 5 is equals to h. Therefore, h is calculated as 6 5 is 30, 3 5 3 is 15 plus 3 18. So the height of the tower is found to be 180 meters. So option number 4 must be true. Height of the tower is 180 meters. So simple formula, r is equals to u root 2h by g. Okay, so h you have to find out. Now the next question, question number 7. A body is projected horizontally from the top of a tower with 30 meter per second. Similar to the previous problem, velocity of throw was given as 30 meters, and the value of g, you are asked to take it as 10 meter per second square. Okay, you are asked to find the velocity of that body after 4 seconds. So children, suppose a body is being thrown from certain tower, then it again falls to the ground. Okay, this is your initial velocity. This initial velocity is given as 30 meter per second, and here it might be final velocity. But the body may take some time to reach the ground. Maybe 6 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, unknown time. But during its path, when it travels for 4 seconds somewhere in its path, you are asked to find the velocity at that particular point. To find the velocity at this particular point along its journey, so What velocity do we have? You will be having two velocities. One is horizontal velocity, which remains constant always, as well as the vertical velocity. So horizontal velocity, let me name it as Vx, and vertical velocity as Vy. Hence, this velocity after 4 seconds is given as the root over Vx square plus Vy square. The net velocity is given as root over Vx square plus Vy square. Okay, where the value of Vx always remains constant horizontal velocity and its value is given as 30 meter per second. But coming to the vertical velocity, we know that V is equals to U plus AT. V is equals to U plus AT. And along vertical direction, it is given as Uy plus Ay into T. Hence, Vy, vertical velocity is, initial velocity is 0, freely falling. So, this will get vanished. Hence, the value of Vy is taken as, instead of Ay, we can replace it with G into T. Vertical motion acceleration is replaced with G. So, we have the value of Vx as 30 meter per second and Vy as root over Gt. So, substituting all those values in the above equations, we get V is equals to root over Vx square. Vx is nothing but 30 square plus Gt. What is the value of Gt, children? So, shall we find it here itself? Well, the value of Gt is taken as G. You are asked to take it as 10 and time was given as 4. It will be 40 meter per second. So, substituting in the above equation, we have 40 whole square. So, 30 square is your 900 and 40 square is your 1600 under root. So, this is nothing but root over 2500 and its value is found to be 50 meter per second. And hence, option number 3 must be your correct answer. Answer is 50 meter per second. Okay. Well, moving to the next question. From the top of a building, 20 meters height. So, now what is given? A building is given whose height was 20 meters. A ball is projected horizontally. So, from the height, from a building, okay, having whose height is 20 meters, from the top of the building, a ball is being projected horizontally. From the top of a building whose height is 20 meters, a ball is being projected horizontally. If the line joining the point of projection to the point where it hits the ground. So, this is the ground. So, this ball reaches the ground like this. So, what is given? The line joining the point of projection to the point where it hits the ground makes an angle 45 degrees with the horizontal. So, this is what? So, this angle with the horizontal, it was given as 45 degrees. If this happens to be 45 degrees, then no doubt this angle is also equals to 45 degrees. Okay. So, what is this, children? If this happens to be 45 degrees, this will also be 45 degrees. The reason behind this is alternate interior angles. Okay. So, based on that, then the initial velocity of the stone is, so here we have thrown it with some initial velocity. This initial velocity you are asked to find out. Children, if theta is equals to 45 degrees, we know that if this 20 meters happens to be the height, then this horizontal distance will be range. Okay. From the figure, this is a right angle triangle. Okay, and this is 45 degrees. From this right angle triangle, if you consider tan 45, then we have opposite by adjacent. This is nothing but 20 by r. Okay, so tan 45 is 1 is equals to 20 by r, or r is equals to 20 meters. Over. Always remember, children, whenever angle is given as 45 degrees, then the value of r is always equals to h. We have given the height of the tower is 20 meters, whereas the value of range is also we get the 20 meters because the angle of projection was 45 degrees. So this you need to remember, children. Okay, so the value of h is also 20 meters, the value of r is also 20 meters. Okay, this is the value of h. Okay, so we know the formula for range as r is equals to u into root over 2h by g. So we know this formula. Substituting the above values, we have 20 is equals to u into, where u is the initial velocity of projection, 2 times of h, height is again 20, upon the value of g, you're asked to take it as 10 meter per second square. So substitution. This 10 will goes off, 0 and 0 gets cancelled. Root over 2 into 2 will get root 4 as 2. Hence, solving the above equation, we have 20 equals to u into root over 2 into 2 is 2. Hence, the value of u is found to be 20 by 2, that is nothing but 10 meter per second. Okay, children. Hence, the value of for the initial velocity of projection is found to be 10 meter per second. Hence, option number 2 must be true. So, the right option is option number 2, that is the ball is thrown with the velocity of 10 meter per second at an angle of 45 degrees. Okay, with the horizontal. So, moving to the next question. Question number 9. 2 paper screens A and B are separated by a distance of 100 meters. So, what is given, children, here? So, one paper screen, a screen here is A. The other paper screen, this screen is named as some B. Okay, and these two are separated by a distance of 100 meters. What is given? 100 meters. A bullet pierces screen A and then screen B. Okay, so a bullet is there. So this bullet, what is given means this bullet first enters screen A and then it goes into the screen B. The hole in B is 10 centimeters below the hole in A. So here it is hole in A, the bullet goes something like this. Okay, well, after that it falls down a little bit lower, that is 10 centimeters below, and at this height you have the other hole that is at point B. How far is that? 10 centimeter below that. Okay, so this is 10 centimeters. This range is given as 100 meters. The bullet enters like this. If the bullet is traveling horizontally, earlier the bullet was traveling horizontally something like this, then the velocity, its velocity at A as. So this ux is equals to u is there. You are asked to find the value of u. Similar to the previous problem, here r is known, h is known. You are asked to find out the value of u. So the relation between r, u and h is r is equals to u times of root over 2h by g. The value of r is given as 100 meters. Substituting you are asked to find out root over 2h. The value of h is given as 10 centimeters. Range in meters and that in centimeters. So let us try to change this centimeters, 10 centimeters into meters. So how to convert? 1 meter is equals to 100 centimeters. Then 1 centimeter is equals to 1 by 100 meters. But 10 centimeters is equals to how much? 10 by 100 meters. Is that clear, children? So 10 centimeters is equals to 10 by 100 meters. So the value of h is given as 10 centimeters. So that I will replace as 10 by 100 meters. Clear? Upon, or g is there. What is the value of g, children? Shall we let us take the value of g as 9.8 itself, because no knowledge regarding the g was given. So let me replace the g value as 9.8 itself. So what is that, children? Numerator we have 2 into 10 and denominator we have 9.8 into 100. Is that point clear? So H is 10 centimeters. 10 centimeter can be written as 10 by 100 meters. And G value is taken as 9.8 meter per second square. Substituting and solving, you have this 0 and this 0 gets cancelled. 2 goes 4.9 times. Then we have the value of 100 is equals to U times of numerator 1 and 4.9 into 10 is nothing but 49. Okay. So solving here. So 100 can be written as U into root over 1 is 1 and root over 49 is 7. Okay. So bringing the 7 here, then we have 7 into 100 is 700. Hence the value of U is found to be 700 meter per second. So first option must be true. 700 meter per second. Okay. The next question, question number 10. From the top of a building 78.4 meter high, the building height was given as 78.4 meter high. A ball is thrown horizontally which hits the ground at a distance. So here a building was being given and the height of the building is given as 78.4 meters. A ball is thrown horizontally. And this hits the ground at some distance. The line joining the top of the building to the point where the ball hits the ground makes an angle of 45 degrees. How much angle is it making? 45 degrees. Whenever 45 degrees, we know that range is equals to height. Then the initial velocity of the ball is, you're asked to find out this initial velocity. Okay children, if this happens to be 45 degrees, we know that below angle here also we have 45 degrees. In this case, if this is 45 degrees, then the range must be is equals to height, which is equals to 78.4 meters. Okay, that we have discussed earlier. If you are not, just calculate. We have tan 45 degrees is equals to opposite by adjacent side, that is nothing but 78.4 by R. Tan 45 is nothing but tan 45 is nothing but 1. So 1 is equals to 78.4 by R, and R is also equals to 78.4 meters. So this is what I wrote it here. So the value of R is also 78.4 meters. Okay children, the relation between height and range is R is equals to U root 2 times of 2H by G. R is equals to U root over 2H by G. So substituting, we have, what is the value of R? R is nothing but 78.4 equals to U. You need to find out root over 2. H is again 78.4 whole upon the value of G. Let us take it as 9.8. Is that okay? Well. So 9.8, 78.4. If you yes, 9.8 into 8. If you get, we'll be getting 78.4. So simplifying, we have 9.8 goes here 8 times. Okay. So solving the above equation, we have 78.4 is equals to U times of root over 2 into 8 is 16. How much is that? 2 root over 16. Root 16 is how much children? Root 16 is 4. So 78.4 is equals to U into 4. Hence, the value of U is found to be 78.4 upon 4. And this value is nothing but 4 ones 4. 9 4s 36, 6 4 jar 24. Okay, hence the value of u is found to be 19.6 meter per second, and hence option number 2 must be the correct answer. Okay children, well, moving to the next question. Question number 11. A ball rolls off the top of a staircase horizontally. If each step has height h and width x and the ball just reaches the nth step, initial velocity of the ball is. So let us try to figure out. So what is there children? So number of steps are there. Some number, n number of steps are there, okay, and there is a ball. This ball rolls up from certain height and falls to down the staircase, okay, and it was given that the height of each step is h and the width of each step is x. Like that, how many steps are there children? N number of steps are there. So no doubt, if n number of steps are there, the total height can be given as n times of h. Each step h height, n steps h, so on up to n means n times of h. Similarly, width. Width is nothing. How much width is given? Each step is having a width of x. Okay, and total how many steps are there? N steps are there. X, so on. So total number of steps are n and each width is x. So the total range of the ball, the horizontal range must be n times of x. So you know the value of h, you also know the value of range. So you're asked to find the initial velocity. The relation between range and initial velocity is r is equals to u times of root over 2h by g. So instead of range, we can replace it with nx equals to u times of root over, instead of the height, you can replace with nh whole upon, this is n and that is h children, okay, upon g. So simplifying this, we have u, you are asked to find out n squaring on, no, let me bring the other side, nx into, if this total term will bring to the left side means this will come reciprocal, g comes up and this numerator will become downwards. So reciprocal will become equals to u. Is that okay? So this carried to the left side, this will become reciprocal, that is root over g by 2nh. Okay. Well, so bringing this nx inside, we have u is equals to overall root. What is there already? We have g by 2nh into nx. If you carry inside, then it will become n square x square. Okay. So now simplifying, we have this n square will go one time. Okay. That's it. Well, therefore, the value of u is found to be, numerator we have gn, okay, or ng, denominator you have 2h under root into root over x square, I can replace it with x. So our final answer is root over ng by 2h into x. So your right option is the first option, that is root over ng by 2h into x. Clear? Well, moving to the next question. From the top of a tower of height 78.4, 2 stones are projected horizontally. How many stones, children? 2 stones from the same height. One stone is thrown at a speed of 20 meter per second, whereas the other stone is thrown with a speed of 30 meter per second in opposite directions. Okay. On reaching the ground, their separation is, that means range, the total range you are asked to find out. So here a tower is being given. From the tower height is given as 78.4 meter. From the tower, one stone is thrown with a speed of u1, I am taking it as 20 meter per second in one direction, and another stone is thrown with a speed of u2, let me take it as 30 meter per second in the opposite direction. On reaching the ground, so this is the ground, so this stone will come like this stone will move in this direction. Okay, so let me replace this with the range. The range of the first stone be R1 and the range of the second stone be some R2. You are asked to find the total distance between the two stones, that is R1 plus R2. You are asked to find out the value of the total distance between the two stones after falling to the ground. Simple, find the value of R1, find the value of R2 and simply add on. Anyhow, you know the formula for R as R is equals to U root over 2H by G. Hence, R1 plus R1 is equals to U1 root over same height and same gravity. R2 is equals to U2 root over 2H by G. Only speeds are changing, height is remains same and G also same. So the distance between the two stones is given by R1 plus R2, which is equals to U1 times of root over 2H by G plus U2 times of root over 2H by G. So R1 plus R2 can be given as what is common in between the two? You have 2H by G as common. Then what are you left with? U1 plus U2. Substituting all the values in the above equation, we get R1 plus R2 as root over 2H by G. Height is given as 78.4 and G, let us take it as 9.8 into U1 plus U2. One is 20, the other is 30. And we know that 9.8 goes 8 times 78.4. 9.8 into 8 is 78.4. So after further simplification, we get the value of R1 plus R2. That is the total distance between the two is root over 2 into 8 is 16. Under root 16 into 20 plus 30 is 50. Hence, R1 plus R2 is found to be 4 into 50. 5 4s 20. So 200 meters. So, but R1 plus R2 is nothing but we have the value as D. So, the distance between the two stones after reaching the ground is found to be 200 meters. So, option number 2 must be true. Question number 12, option number 2, that is 200 meters. Now the next question, question number 13. In a soccer practice session, the football is kept at the center of the field 40 yards from the 10 feet high goal post. Let us picturize this. So, a football court is there, okay. In this soccer practice session, the football is kept at the center of the field 40 yards from the 10 feet high goal post. There is a goal post, okay. The goal post height was given as 10 feet. Okay, a goal is attempted by kicking the football at the speed of 64 feet per second. This is the range. Range was given as 40 yards and it was attempted to kicking the football at a speed of 64 feet per second. Okay, the speed is given as 64 feet per second. Angle was given as 45 degrees. The ball will go and it has to reach the goal point. Will the ball reach the goal post? First of all, two questions were asked here. Will the ball reach the goal post? And second question, the vertical displacement of the football you are asked to find out. Children, here if you observe this range from the football to the goal post, the total distance was given as 40 yards. And In bracket it was given as the value of G, you are asked to take 32 feet per second square, whereas the value of 1 yard was given as 3 feet. If 1 yard happens to be 3 feet, 40 yards can be 40 into 3. This is 120 feet. So the total distance from the football to the goal post is found to be 120 feet. Okay, this is the actual distance. So here they are asking whether the ball reaches the goal post or not. Let us see. If the same football is kicked with a speed of 64 feet per second at an angle of 45 degrees, let us see how much range it would have covered. Our formula from Sx is equals to Ux into, or simply let us find out the range value. We know the formula for range from the bottom. It's not from top of a tower. It's simply from the ground level. Okay. From the ground level, if you know that, range formula is given as U square sine 2 theta by G. Hope you remember this formula, U square sine 2 theta by G. So after substituting, you get R as R is equals to U square. What is the value of U given, children? 64. 64 square means 64 into 64 into sine 2 theta would be sine 2 into angle was given as 45 degrees. So 45 upon the value of G, it was asked to take it as 32 feet per second. So 32. Simplify this, children. So you get the value of R as 32 goes 2 times. Okay. So 64 into 2, how much? It is 128. Sine 2 into 45 is sine 90. The value of sine 90 is 1. So finally you got the answer as 64 into 2 into sine 90 degrees, and this value is nothing but sine 90 is 1, 1 into 2 is 2, 2 into 64 is 128 meters. So if the same ball is kicked with a speed of 64 feet per second at an angle of 45 degrees, it would have covered a distance of something like 128 meters. But the court is only at a distance of 120 meters. So is it able to cover the goal or not? Will the ball reaches the goal post or not? Yes, of course. If it could reach a distance of 128 meters, why not it go for 120 meters? So definitely the ball will reaches the goal point. Okay, so answer is yes. Now let us check whether the first option is true or the fourth option is true. Answer is yes. Okay, well, so let us try to find out the vertical displacement of the football. Okay, so in order to find the vertical displacement of the football, let us try to make the equation. S is equals to ut plus half at square in the vertical direction. S is equals to ut plus half at square in the vertical direction. Vertical direction means Sy is equals to Uy into t minus half gt square. So this vertical distance, let me take it as y, is equals to Uy. Uy means this is Ux, horizontal is given as Ux, U cos theta, vertical is given as anything is resolved into this velocity vector U is resolved into two components Ux, and this is Uy. Ux is nothing but U cos theta, whereas Uy is given as U sin theta. So U sin 45 into t. Okay, later we shall go with the t value minus half gt square. So this vertical distance, let us try to find out. So what is the time, children? In order to find the time, let us see the value from the range formula. Sx is equals to ux into t, or t is equals to sx by ux. You remember this? Along the horizontal distance, Sx is equals to ux into t. Okay, to get the parabolic equation, we went this model. So Sx is nothing but the horizontal range. How much, or where is the goal post? It set out 120 meters. This distance is only 120. It has to reach this goal. So this distance is only 120. So 120 upon ux. Ux is, what is the speed, children? Ux is nothing but u cos 45. This is u cos 45. So based on that, let us try to substitute the same values. Okay, well, I'll solve this the other side. Let us first of all simplify this. This is nothing but 120 upon u. Value of u is 64 into cos 45 is 1 by root 2. This goes 8 times and this goes 15 times. So finally you have 15 root 2 by 8. The value of t is found to be 15 root 2 by 8. Substituting those values in the above equation that we have defined just now. What is that, children? Sy is equals to uy into t minus half gt square. Then the vertical distance y is given as uy. Value of uy is how much is that? U sine uy is u sine angle is 45 degrees into the value of t is just now calculated as 15 root 2 upon 8 minus half. Value of g must be taken as 32 into t square. T square means 15 root 2 into 15 root 2 whole upon 8 into 8. T square, 15 root 2 by 8 whole square, that is 15 root 2 into 15 root 2 by 8 into 8. So let us try to solve the same, children. We have the value of y is found to be u into, u value is how much? The value of u is given as 64 feet. Okay, value of u is given as 64 feet. So 64 into sine 45 is 1 by root 2 into 15 root 2 upon 8 minus, let us try solving the same. Okay, this root 2 into root 2 is 2 and this 2 gets cancelled. Here you have 8 goes 4 times, 8 4s 32 and this 4 goes 2 times. Okay, finally you are left with 15 into 15 by 2, that is 225 by 2. Okay, so this is, here you will get it as something like 225 by 2. Here also if you solve the same, how much you are getting, children? This one 8864 and this root 2 and this root 2 gets cancelled. So you are left with here numerator 8 and here numerator 15, no values in denominator. So finally y is equals to 8 into 15. How much is 8 into 15? 8 5 is 44, 120. Minus 225 by 2. 225 by 2 is nothing but 112.5. Hence the value of y is found, the vertical distance is found to be 120 minus 112.5. Hence the vertical distance is found to be 7.5 feet. Well, yes, earlier we tried saying that the ball reaches the goal post because the goal post is only at a distance of 120 meters and the ball can be able to reach at a distance of 128 meters. So the ball can easily reach the goal post. Whereas the vertical distance covered by the ball is found to be 7.5 feet. Hence, the correct answer for this must be yes and 7.5 feet. That is the first option must be true. Clear, children? Well.